Qualifier number 5, X-Cup Winter Qualifiers continue, and we are in the early rounds, which means that we have another best of 1 at hand, and today we got Team Ash against Hungover on Battlefield of Eternity. So now that we're getting a little bit deeper into the qualifiers, obviously it starts to get a bit more interesting regarding the point distribution. The teams are really trying to get points together to establish themselves either in the top 8 so that they qualify for the playoffs, or even better in the top 4 so that they have a better seeding for the playoff bracket, or double elimination bracket. And Hungover, they did a pretty decent job in recent qualifiers, but Team Ash is still a bit higher up there. Team Ash has actually ambitions for the top 4, that's for sure. As recently, we've seen Johanna banned over and over and over again, or even picked first. Right now we see the same pattern once again emerging here on Battlefield of Eternity. So Jojo banned, we get Rhaegar banned as well. Leaves Stukov up, and Gavlo for Hungover locks in Hanzo right away. So they're leaving Stukov up for grabs. And he's not being picked. Alright, Stukov not taken. Instead we get Urel and we get Vala. Now immediately when you're seeing a Vala pick, the first question is obviously, are we going to get a double support, yes or no? This is Battlefield of Eternity, you don't have to play auto attack style, you can go into an arrow build, which does even more damage towards the Immortal, and Vala later on when she has stacks on her level 1 talent can pretty much solo that bad boy. But that allows the red team to go for Stukov, and they combo that off with Murden. Now, they had a couple of options what they could do here. They could have either gone into Varian and tried to taunt into a lurking arm. They could have done a similar thing also with Anubarak if they decided to dive really deep here. But they leave a noob open, which could also lead to a pick on the side of Team Ash into the Beetle. But with Murden and Stukov, you already have a nice combo. Wit on Murden obviously has a lot of survivability too, and the ability to either jump in or out. Talking about jumping, Fat Illidan gets banned, so no Chen in this game. Yeah, Murden is at least for now the only one that's jumping around on the red team side. Couldn't get Urel, can't get anything else either, so there's that. And here comes ban number 6, last ban, and well, they could ban out one of Bishop's heroes. Bishop's pretty much most of the time has played 3 heroes, Hanzo, Sylvanas and Cassia. So those are the 3. So if they're worried about any of those, they will get rid of them right now. But it's Zarya that they're targeting here. Not really a bad idea. Garrosh is still up, so you could have technically gone for a Zarya and Garrosh combo and try to empower Garrosh even further with the speed barrier on level 4. Not so much in here though. But still, as I said earlier, we could still see, yeah, there's Anubarak. Anubarak and Urel, as mentioned, pretty solid setup for them, good combo. Anduin on the support side. So you already have someone that can pull target out of harm's way whenever Stukov and Murden are setting up their combo. That's something that Anduin also does exceptionally well against Varian. But for the red team, it's now down to the final 2 picks. So we still need a side laner. And we also... Blade could go... we get a Sonya and a Falstad pick for them. Okay. Definitely not quite what I expected here. But I like it. Sonya's a little bit more on the aggressive side. And then together with that, they get the birdie for the potential disengage too. Alright. And that leaves us with Bishops. Now, as mentioned before, he has this 3 hero that he usually circles through, but he can play more than that, and he proves it right here by going for Genji, so we don't get anything of the infamous 3 that he normally brings to the tournament, but instead it's a Genji pick for the day. Battlefield of Eternity, again, is a best of 1. We are in the early round. This is a qualifier for the X-Cup Winter Playoffs, and let's get things started with Team Ash against Hungover. First game of the day, the X-Cup Winter Qualifier number 5, Renella on Anduin for Team Ash. We got Bishops on Genji today, might try with Vala's arrow build, Morenas with Urel, and then Nado is playing Anubarak in game number 1. On the right side of the map, Wit for Hungovers playing Muradin. We got Soaking on Sonya, out of order on Stukov, Gavlo on Hanzo, and Blade is playing Falstad. That's actually interesting that we now have in today's game Hungover once. Ooh, look at that. New mount choices. I haven't seen that one in action in the tournament yet. But yeah, so it's actually kind of interesting to see that Hungover once again hasn't sobered up here. Every single weekend, these guys are just partying like crazy. They're real party animals, and then they still commit to the tournament on Sunday morning, so to say. So you gotta respect that. Soaking is getting attacked here. Anubarak is actually moving in too. We'll have to share a bush in just a second with Muradin, but yeah, instead decided he wants to go down to the bottom of the map. Muradin and Genji still clashing in the middle, as you can see on the minimap, but that doesn't really result in anything more than Muradin being slowed down slightly. So down here, still Falstad in a position where he could technically fly up and try to help out. But it's actually a pretty fluid game so far. Normally with the 1-4 split very early on, but this time everybody is just moving between bot and top lane. Could lead to early kills too, which you normally don't see here. At least not in that rotation. But they're shifting the entire play now up towards the top. Now down at the bottom of the map we still have 2 heroes for the blue team. So Renella and Maitri are currently playing this one out and are going straight for the mercenary camp at the bot lane. Top side Hungover has started to take over and is trying to take theirs as well. And yeah, we get a bit of a clash here. I mean, it's a 3 versus 4, so I don't really think that they're going to be eager to fight this one. They let the camp go, we're just trying to slow things down a bit. But at the bot lane, of course, blue team is making up for this. Team Ash locks in a camp, and they're going for Blade, who is able to get out. Has to Hearthstone back, though. Might even have to... Nah, he doesn't have to fly down. Alright, so he can actually like move back to lane, doesn't have to fly. Certainly sitting, has 2 down at the bottom that are helping him out here. But up at the top lane, they're trying for the play again. And Falstad is actually moving in quickly in an attempt to go for bishops. Oh, Genji with a quick swift strike attempt against Sonya. That was a bit unsuccessful, but they nearly got Morenas. And both of them are low. Urel and Genji both have to fall back. So nicely done by the red team. Able to force them back, at least initially. Now the objective is going to be announced in 5 seconds, so both of the teams will now start falling back to their shaman camps to grab that. With level 4 talents, we for now have the static shield. Also, Sledgehammer! So indeed we're getting the perfect storm on level 1, plus Sledgehammer on level 4. A bit more extra oomph on the immortal that they can use here. A little bit of a different move from them. Something that we don't see all that often anymore on the map. And the repeating arrow for Vala, who by now has 3 stacks. Nothing crazy. I mean, again, Vala's going to need a little bit more time and a few more fights until she can finally get some decent numbers in on that and get the extra damage with the initial hit. But they're already starting to burn this down a bit. Wit with the Stormbolt is doing some okayish damage thanks to his level 4 talent. That's of course going to be increased as time continues. And especially later on in the game, he can do some work. In addition to that, you got Hanzo, who's always been one of the best damage dealers against the Immortal. Mainly thanks to his serrated arrows on level 4. Wade getting body blocked hard and stunned again. He's in trouble. And Muradin falls. First blood in the game. Team Ash, they're not happy with 1 kill. They want 2 and they get them. Hanzo is down and that's 2 kills to 0 for Team Ash. Ah shit, here we go again. So, the move straight in for Immortal, this time on the red team side, and he should be able to do some work here. Not only did Vala pick up some additional hits on her level 1 talent, but of course they now have the numbers advantage here in the middle too. Sonya already moved in on the other hand, and well, Stukov thought it would be a great idea to also attack the Immortal. I mean, he is still the heavy-hitting AoE attacker in the game. Problematic for him is that he doesn't have a lot of mobility, so once the attack started to hit him, there was little that he could do. Halftime show went over to the blue team. Team Ash, they have the lead. And also the level 7 talent. Bit ahead of their time. Vala is obviously doing the arrow thing on the left side, whereas the blue team is trying to defend their own Immortal over here on the right. And thus far, they are still in a good spot, and Vala's just murdering this. I mean, no matter how much damage they have, the only thing that Hungover can do is try and stop the bleeding. Make sure that the shields is not too bad, but it's still talking 40% here. And with 3 kills to 0, they're looking pretty solid. So, yeah. 4 kills to 0 is... sorry, 3 kills to 0. It's not really too bad. Bishop's nearly dying again here, so he is really cutting it close a few times now already. But I mean, he survives up to now, so yeah, has done his job. Now, the fort should survive up here. There's a good defensive setup that they have, and with the shield gone, the Immortal gets attacked right away and will walk. I mean, a little bit of damage on the fort would already be nice. But besides that, I don't expect too much unless they really now fully commit to this one. And it seems like they actually might. So we already had Morenas moving in. And the Immortal is still doing some work, but obviously they can't take the fort down completely. They already have it low. Oh, well, 30% gone, roughly 25. So yeah, they're looking good here. So an initial lead for Team Ash. Hungover isn't too far behind in experience. Actually, as it stands, they're pretty much on even footing with them. But up at the top, another attack against Wade. Good hits by Vala. Nice stacks, of course, too. Allows them to go for out of order here. Swift strike and the kill. Bishops immediately follows it up with another one after the reset and goes for the birdie. But with them pushing the red team back, they now have easy access to the camp and they take it. Khaldor's moving in, and that's a big fat chance to do some damage at the top fort, especially with our multiple of the heroes down at the bottom of the map. Morenas was doing a fair amount of work here, but look at that. Genji is coming in, wants the birdie, missed a couple of the shurikens, but is still able to take Falstad down, and they are fighting this, at least for a moment, but this time Genji stayed a bit too long. Muradin goes in, takes him down, level 10 abilities at this point, hitting for the blue team, who now took out the top fort, so they are really pulling ahead here. The camp at the bot lane was obviously lost, but now everybody from Team Ash is rotating down to the bottom of the map and trying to do their thing here. Alright, so all the way top right, still I gotta defend this. Early level 10 doesn't really do anything for them, honestly, because the red team is already catching up, but it's 5 kills to 1 at this point. Quest is already completed. We have 25 stacks here for the perfect storm, as you can see. And Muradin going straight into the avatar. No real surprises on the ults, at least not until now. Stukov honestly could go either way here, but the objective is up, and now Vala is already starting to hit a little bit harder. So she's going up against Hanzo here when it comes to immortal damage, and as you can tell, both of the teams are doing fairly okay. It's actually the red team that wins the halftime show, mainly because Hanzo got another volley out with his serrated arrows on level 4. But as Vala is able to get more stacks together, she is going to do some good damage in late stage immortal territory at the least. And those storm bolts that we're seeing from Wit, obviously we can't discount them either, since we have him with a sledgehammer on level 4, and that is definitely going to add a lot. But the camps have been taken and some of them already been defeated, so Falstad had now the chance to take care of it at the bot lane before anything else happened here. The teams are just poking a bit against the immortal hit points. Both of them are already low, but the blue team is the one that has to be really careful. Another Stormbolt hitting home, and they're doing work with this. I gotta say that Muradin is really packing a punch with that sledgehammer. You could really tell that it has an impact on that immortal. And if they get a few more hits in, as they do right now, they are going to poke this down eventually. Hanzo is also, of course, chipping in from afar. And the blue team is completely losing ground here. So now they find that they only can go for the attack. That's exactly what they're doing here. Nice combo from Genji, but Anubarak is already down as Genji and Anduin go for the tag team ult setup with a light bomb. And Genji's engaged. But Anubarak is gone. Wit is moving in, another Stormbolt hits home, and in a 5 versus 4 situation, they should be able to lock the Immortal in. So, nice back and forth for the first round in the tournament. It's actually pretty solid. Yeah, we got a lot of good teams this season, for sure. So, the Immortal goes down. Murenas is also a bit isolated here. He's trying to make his way back out and is able to disengage. Wit also has to jump away, as Vala is still following up with a few more arrows. But it is an immortal for the red team for the first time, and in addition to that, they also have now a slight lead in experience. Denado is pushing this real deal. Like, he was trying to see if maybe an engage with Cocoon was even worth it here, but they decided against it. But thanks to them pushing them that far back to the right side of the map, the immortal is already halfway down before any attack could be organized by Hungover. Now that they're finally at the bot lane, the Immortal is already about to be gone, but they are maybe still able to take that fort. And even if not, they opened the wall and they took the fort down to 25% HP. So, it's a okay-ish second Immortal. It's nothing to write home about, but was definitely alright. Level 13 talents for both teams, and despite the difference in kills, this is still extremely even here. I mean, very, very even. So, we'll see what they can do at this point. Red team in particular, since they, in team fights, still have to prove themselves a little bit. And look at the blue team is. I mean, this is the cool thing about like all the Russian teams that we had in the past, and them too. They are just aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. Yeah, they don't care. They find themselves on the other side of the map, and they're just like, nah, this is fine. That's alright. We're exactly where we want to be. They want these engages. They're looking for them. They're taking the big risks. Yeah, and there's a light bump engage, and they hit the bird hard. Yeah, look at that. Easy engage. Sonya's at the top. She's trying to get the fort. But down here, they're definitely going to get Stukov. Stukov is dead. He's definitely going to get demoted. The Admiral over here, yeah, he's not going to make it. But Sonya's taking the fort at the top too, so it's still an even exchange in structures. Team Ash was able to take the bot lane out, but Sonya up at the top was just doing her thing, so Soaking is currently pretty successfully pushing that lane back. So as nice as this attack was, they didn't get ahead in structures. They got ahead in experience thanks to those kills, but they need to do a bit more than that. So we'll see if they can pull that off. I mean, for now, we have a 5-kill advantage for the blue team. Damage output, Genji on 26,000. We got 19,000 for Sonya. And of course, the next Immortal is already on the map. There's no level 16 talent advantage for the blue team so far, though. So, yeah, it's going to be another race. But this time, Vala is starting to crank it up a little bit. But her nemesis on the other side, Hanzo, is also doing real work on those Immortal hit points. But Vala is now 19 stacks. Now again, it's not crazy. 19 stacks at this moment in time, it's nothing too insane. But still, as long as she can poke it out and get the double arrow in, they can slowly take this one down. So the situation has a little bit reversed when you think about it. Last time it was Wit and his boys that were trying, you know, with Storm Bolts and with Hanzo arrows to do their thing. The problem is that the blue team is in a bit of a lead because they have the early level 16. They only have a few more seconds, maybe a wave or two, and then they're going to hit another talent. So the pressure is on Team Hungover. And they don't respond to it, at least not a lot. So Wit is now dropping a bit low as they were moving in here. But now they finally make their move, but level 16 is here. And there's the play from Team Ash. Now they're willing to fight, and of course they are. Muradin is down, the dwarf is gone, and another light bomb. Beautiful play. Beautiful play here. Really, really well done by Bishops. Yeah, that was sexy. That was real sexy. Not only did he hit 3 with the light bomb, Vala by now has killed 3. Genji takes another one. They're going to go for the keep here, and while they do that, we take another look at that play. So here they come, and now just look at the light bomb. He moves in, gets all 3 of them, and then with the X strike, they're making the plays for the rest of the team. They even take down the birdie who started all of this, then, or the disengage with the gust. Urel moving in from the side allowed them to do that, so yep, that one was pretty sexy. And they are now dominant here. They just took the keep down, they have 11 kills to 2. We have them with level 17 against 16, but let's not forget about the Immortal. That one hasn't even started. The Immortal is just now moving in. And that can at the top lane immediately do some work here. So, yeah. Alright, so let's see how much damage they can do at this point. Fawcett is still down at the bottom of the map. 16 is now ready on both sides. That gives us also the Dwarf launch. But, of course, the big question is, can they take another keep out? Because if they manage to do that, that would be the beginning of the end. Again, the light bomb, and Hanzo gets popped. He just blows up, and now they're pushing this deep. Slaps from Stukov, but still, the Immortal is starting to chunk down that keep, and with the rest of the blue team engaging, they want to take it on, and they definitely can. Morenas dies to the keep, so they might have to disengage here. Don't think they're going to push for core. But that's obviously still a disaster for Team Hungover, who are now without a major structure on the map anymore. Yeah, they really play well around that Anduin and Genji light bomb combo. I mean, we've seen it plenty of times in the past, but in this particular game, they've hit like 4 or 5 of them already, and most of them against multiple targets. So, worked really well for them. And this forces the red team now to be super aggressive with their positioning. I mean, you can really tell that they're already checking the bushes here. Muradin, therefore, is very far out, though, and they just blow him to pieces. I mean, on one hand, you look at Wit and you're like, well, what else are you supposed to do? You have to be aggressive, but of course that lends itself to situations like this one, where he's just a bit too far out. Another light bomb, and they try to go for Hanzo. But he turns it with a nice arrow. This time, Khaldor is not getting caught off guard here. He responds in kind, and they take Genji down. A little bit too confident in this one. Just a little bit too confident. So, with that, we now have at the bottom of the map another camp taken. Obviously, they have to wait for Genji to be back to business. There's also catapults pushing everywhere. 16 minutes in, they are starting to hurt. Obviously, these things scale as time continues. Yeah, with the objective is spawning now. We're going to have the Immortal on the map when both teams are, again, with 5 ready to fight for it. But for the red team, it's always going to be an annoying situation because they will have to keep a few of their heroes back on lane to make sure that the catapults don't connect with the core. Then again, they are the ones who have a global, so Falstad can take over that duty. The bigger problem is really that we now have level 20 for Team Ashe. That is going to put them into the driver's seat on the next objective too. And it's the main reason why the red team is currently trying to force this. So they were hoping to force a fight before Genji is back and before level 20 is available for Team Ashe. But that was not working out for them. And now we have the Acrobat. We also have, of course, previously even a seething hatred here. It's even more. The Acrobat is in. The follow-up with the Inner Fire is also there when Genji makes his play. Living Weapon. And time is working in their favor too. Team Ashe is in an absolutely fantastic position. They can force these fight, and they're already going for it. Light Bomb engaged once again. Hanzo shuts it down with a stun, but Stukov is still in trouble. Slaps them around a little bit. Denato was saved by Anduin and was able to get away here. Already the kill, the double kill. The red team, they woke up Hungover. Look at that. They got the electrolytes, and now they are absolutely peachy again. And are finally able to fight back. Yeah, those catapults is still absolutely YOLOing it straight into the middle. Core is losing its shield. Would have lost a couple of hit points, and that for that lazy bastard right there attacking the wrong structure. Didn't even kill it. Unbe-fucking-lievable. Level 20 nearly now for Hungover. But I gotta say, they are currently fighting to make their way back into this, but no! Stukov gets taken down again. He was already demoted once today, but yeah, we are completely bumping him back. Yeah, he's gonna hit the bunk beds again. I mean, seriously. That is just disappointing, to say the least. If your rank and file already fucks up like that, then what do you expect, you know, from the lower ranks here? Either way, now 14 kills against 6. We got a Blade on the right side still doing his thing. I talked about it earlier. He will have to take care of all of these side lanes. Wait is already jumping out. They're waiting for the Immortal. And I would be amiss to not mention that this Immortal is packing a punch, because this is a big shield. And we are now 18 minutes in. So they try to zone them out already. The problem is really that with Stukov missing, the red team just can't fight here. This is the only thing that allows Team Ashe to defend their keep now. Because if that wasn't the case, then yes, that keep would fall for sure. Now we got 35,000 damage for Sonya. She's the top damage dealer on the right side of the map. 45,000 for Genji. That doesn't come as a surprise. Genji and Vala together just tag team all of this. But the situation for Hungover has only slightly improved because they are still the ones without a single keep on the map. Team Ashe, they've saved both of theirs. And now we are 19 minutes into the game. So catapults are starting to become stronger and stronger and have more of an impact here. Which makes Falstad the designated side laner, as I already mentioned earlier. So he will really have to focus down on those side lanes and push them out. And then join up with the rest of the team whenever the fight breaks out. But, yep. For the time being, at least, it's all about the next engage. Next Immortal, next engage. The blue team also, of course, trying to push the lanes out. And I wouldn't put it past the crazy Russians to, at some point, just YOLO for the core. I mean, again, keep in mind what kind of team we're watching here. These guys have always been hyper-aggressive, and if at any point they think they have a chance to just go for the core, they will definitely take it. Now, is that really going to happen? Probably not, but I wouldn't put it past them. They've made crazy plays in the past, and they definitely could repeat that. So by now, we are 20 minutes into the game. Next Immortal will be announced soon, TM. And the blue team, they are fully aware that this isn't over yet. This can still be lost. Now it's time for the camps on the map. Sham camp on the right side is already being taken now. Stukov, by the way, is just getting absolutely smacked down here. Out of order. He was a lot of out of position here, or at least got hit hard. Again, if you can collapse on Stukov, then his problem is always going to be the same. He doesn't really have an escape tool on his hands. So there's that. But yeah. Okay, it's Immortal time. Vala has... How many stacks does Vala have? She's at 35 now. So yeah, they can chunk it pretty hard with her. And obviously she's not the only one that does good damage against the Immortal. So they win the halftime show. With quite the lead, by the way. 6,000 hit points, not too shabby. So they've hit a good one here. Up at the top, there's already 3 catapults and a camp. Morenas doesn't even have to do anything on that lane. And down to the bottom of the map, you even have the Shaman camp that is still moving in. So yeah, there's that. And I don't know, at some point, the red team, they gotta make a move. Because they will have to send someone to the top lane. That's gonna be Falstad's job. And then he has to fly in here. But already my try is hitting a couple of arrows against the Immortal with success, I might add. And the top lane is going to become a huge problem point for Hungover. They need to make a play. They need to play it soon. So they're moving in as we speak. Keep that top lane in mind as you're watching the minimap. 14-6. And by the way, to all of the plastic players amongst you, the minimap is this thing at the bottom right where you can see, like, you know, like the map and everything. So that's down here. So, while the play is coming out with the Stormbolt initiation, the arrow misses completely, and the first catapults are already on the core. They make the play for the backline there, but yep, that is 4 catapults in total. So this is starting to be a huge problem. They're gonna lose the game here. They're gonna lose the game to that, and now that Hanzo is gone, this is pretty much the end of it. Falstad is flying in, trying to deal with that, but that's 5 catapults on the core. They are melting the core away already. The rest of the team is desperately trying to escape with at 70 HP, but Sonya is down. The core is at 60%. The fight on the left side continues as they make the play for the bird. Falstad is down, Blade is dead, and they can easily move straight in for the core and take it apart. They don't even have to bother with the objective any longer. That's gonna be game. Hungover gets wrecked in this late game fight by Team Ash. They take the map, they win Battlefield of Eternity, and therefore move on to the next round of the 5th qualifier of the X Cup Winter. GG.